Respected audiences and respected students, and above all, please come to the Central Auditorium. Our program is about to begin shortly. Respected students, please take your seats. Our program is going to start. In a few moments, our program is going to start. Please take your seats, and I would urge everyone to please fill the seats in front first, and then from the back. Thank you. Respected students, ladies and gentlemen, our program is going to start momentarily. Please take your seats. I kindly ask everyone to please take their seats. Our program is going to start momentarily. Respected students and dear audiences, please, our program is about to begin. Please take your seats. Our program is about to begin. Dear guests, our program is going to begin right now in a few moments. Please take your seats. Our program is about to begin. Please take your seats and settle down. Thank you. In 1 minute, we are going to start our program. Respected guests and respected students, please take your seats right now. We are about to begin in 1 minute.
Bismillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, respected speakers, distinguished guests, faculty members, officers, and dear students. Assalamu alaikum and good morning. On behalf of Bangladesh Maritime University, I, Nishat Tarandom,
and myself, Mursalin Siddiqui,
welcome you all in today's international seminar. The theme of the seminar is Blue Economy, Unlocking the Potentials of Oceans for Sustainable Development of Bangladesh. Today, as we gather here in this auditorium, we are reminded of the immense potential the Bay of Bengal holds for us. As a nation, Bangladesh stands at the forefront of the blue economy, offering unique opportunities for sustainable growth, environmental stewardship, and social development. With this promise comes the responsibility to balance progress with the preservation for ourselves and future generations.
This seminar seeks to align national priorities with global best practices in ocean governance, innovation, and sustainability to advance Bangladesh's journey toward a resilient and thriving blue economy. We are delighted to announce that Admiral M. Nazmul Hasan, the esteemed Chief of Naval Staff of the Bangladesh Navy, has graciously accepted the invitation to preside over our inaugural session as the chief guest.
Esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to present the outline of today's seminar, which comprises 4 insightful sessions. We shall commence with the recitation from the Holy Quran, seeking divine blessings for the success of this gathering. This will be followed by the welcome address from the convener of today's seminar, Commodore Atikur Rahman, Dean, Faculty of Shipping Administration, Bangladesh Maritime University. Next, a brief yet enlightening audio-visual will highlight the theme of the seminar.
The keynote paper will then be delivered by Professor Dr. Pierre Fair, UNESCO Chair in Ocean Governance and Director, Center for Blue Governance, University of Portsmouth. Following the keynote speech, we will hear from an honorable chief guest, Admiral M. Nazmul Hasan, Chief of Naval Staff. Finally, it will be our distinct honor to invite the esteemed Vice Chancellor of Bangladesh Maritime University, Rear Admiral Ashraful Haq Chaudhry, to deliver his insightful and concluding remarks.
Thereafter, we will proceed with the handover of mementos and a photography session, making the close of the inaugural segment. Following this, our esteemed chief guest is invited to the lobby outside of the central auditorium for the poster presentation display. These posters feature innovative research ideas by students from both national and international universities, showcasing promising academic collaboration and creativity. Light refreshments have been arranged for all invited guests. Please note, invited guests, head of the departments, and above all, will be requested to proceed to the second floor for the light refreshment. And students, faculty members, and other officers will be requested to proceed to the first floor of the Grand Convention Hall for the light refreshment. We are glad to let you know that the coffee arrangements have been made for all students and our esteemed guests. Feel free to grab a cup anytime you wish. Just head outside the central auditorium and enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, after the tea break, we will reconvene for the second session of the day, which is scheduled to begin at 11:15 hours. This plenary session will take place at the Central Auditorium, second floor, and will be graciously chaired by Professor Dr. Muhammad Nazir Hussain, Head of the Department of Genetic Engineering and Marine Biotechnology, Bangladesh Maritime University. During this session, we will have the privilege of hearing from two distinguished speakers who will present their valuable research findings, followed by special guest speaker Dr. Tonia Astrid Capeno, expert in oceanography for the French Governmental Agency of Expertise. The plenary session will end at 12:50 hours. We look forward to your active participation in engaging exchange of knowledge. Following this, we will begin our parallel technical session from 1300 to 1400 hours, taking place simultaneously across 3 different venues.
In the Central Auditorium, second floor, a session on the sub-theme of blue economy sectors will be held. This session will be chaired by Captain Qazi Ali Imam, distinguished expert and the head of the Department of Port and Shipping Management at Bangladesh Maritime University. Meanwhile, in the conference room, 5th floor, we will host a parallel technical session focusing on ocean governance. The session will be chaired by Dr. Muhammad Abdul Wahab, professor in the Department of Marine Fisheries and Aquaculture at Bangladesh Maritime University. And last but not the least, another parallel technical session will be held in Grand Convention Hall, first floor, on the sub-theme of Ocean Science and Engineering, and the session will be chaired by Dr. Muhammad Sadiqul Bari, professor and head of department, Department of Naval Architecture and Offshore Engineering, Bangladesh Maritime University.
Following this session, we will have our lunch and prayer breaks from 1400 to 1455 hours. The prayer arrangements are made at the Grand Convention Hall, first floor. After the lunch break, we will enjoy again for the concluding session at 1500 hours. We are deeply honored to announce that Professor Dr. Chaudhry Rafiqul Abrar, the esteemed advisor of Ministry of Education of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, has graciously accepted our invitation to be the chief guest for this auspicious occasion. The concluding session will commence with today's seminar resume by Dr. Nazia Rifat Zaman, Assistant Professor, Genetic Engineering and Marine Biotechnology, Bangladesh Maritime University. Following this, we will be privileged to hear a welcome address from the esteemed Vice Chancellor of Bangladesh Maritime University, Rear Admiral Ashraful Haq Chaudhry, who will share his valuable insights and extend his warm greetings. We will be presenting a brief yet enlightening audiovisual presentation that condenses the theme of today's seminar.
Ladies and gentlemen, a short notice before we continue our session. Most of the seats are still empty in front. I urge all students and respected audiences to please fill the seats in front. Please, respected audiences, those who are sitting on the back, I can see a lot of students sitting on the back. Please, kindly, I urge all of you to come in front and take the respected seats from the front. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinct honor to announce that the session speech will be delivered by Professor Dr. Qazi Matinuddin Ahmed, from the Department of Geology and Dean of the Faculty of Earth and Environmental Sciences at the University of Dhaka. We're truly privileged to have him with us today to share his insights and expertise. Following this, we will be greatly honored to hear from our esteemed chief guest, Professor Dr. Chaudhry Rafiqul Abrar, the respected advisor to the Ministry of Education of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. We will look forward to his valuable words and presence. After the speeches, this will be followed by the presentation of mementos as tokens of appreciation and a photography session to capture the memories of this occasion. And lastly, the program will conclude with a vote of thanks from the convener of the seminar, Commodore Atikur Rahman, Dean, Faculty of Shipping Administration, Bangladesh Maritime University. Then we will have light refreshments, followed by a cultural program by Bangladesh Maritime University Cultural Club. The detailed schedule is shown on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are waiting for the arrival of the chief guest. Again, I urge all respected guests and students to please fill your seats in the front first and then from the back. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still waiting for the arrival of the chief guest, but till he comes, please, I urge every students who are sitting on the back to fill your seats in the front. Please, I repeat again, those students and respected audiences who are sitting in the back, please fill the seats in front first. Thank you.
Dear students, I request who are sitting at the back, kindly please fill the seat at front. I request every student who are sitting at the back, please kindly fill the seat at the front.
Ladies and gentlemen, our honorable chief guest, Admiral M. Nazmul Hassan, Chief of Naval Staff, Bangladesh Navy, has just arrived amongst us.
Today's chief guest, Honorable Chief of Naval Staff, Bangladesh Navy, Admiral M. Najmul Hassan. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Bangladesh Maritime University, Rear Admiral Ashraful Haq Chaudhary. Learned keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Pierre Fair, UNESCO Chair in Ocean Governance and Director, Center for Blue Governance, University of Portsmouth. Ladies and gentlemen, our honorable chief guest, Admiral M. Najmul Hassan, Chief of Naval Staff, Bangladesh Navy, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Bangladesh Maritime University, Rear Admiral Ashraful Haq Chaudhary, learned keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Pierre Fair, UNESCO Chair in Ocean Governance and Director, Center for Blue Governance, University of Portsmouth. Distinguished guests, faculty members, officers, and students, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. On behalf of Bangladesh Maritime University, I want to extend our heartiest welcome to all the esteemed guests and eminent speakers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to respectfully inform you of the sequence of today's program. To commence the proceedings, the convener of today's international seminar, Commodore Atikur Rahman, Dean, Faculty of Shipping Administration, Bangladesh Maritime University, will deliver the welcome address. Following this, the keynote paper will be presented. Thereafter, the keynote speaker and the chief guest will grace us with their valuable remarks.
Subsequently, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Bangladesh Maritime University, Rear Admiral Ashraful Haq Chaudhary, will deliver the concluding speech. This will be followed by the handover of mementos to esteemed guests and a photography session. Following this, the poster display will formally be opened to all. Additionally, a poster exhibition has been arranged in the lobby adjacent to the central auditorium. You are cordially invited to visit the display of the posters. With that, we will conclude the inaugural session of today's program.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now beginning our inaugural session of today's program. At the very outset, I would request Deputy Registrar Lieutenant M.M. Jahangir to recite from the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وهو الذي سخر البحر لتأكلوا منه لحما طريا تشكرون.
It is he who has made the sea subject, that you may eat thereof flesh that is fresh and tender, and that you may extract therefrom ornaments to wear. And you seize the ships therein that plow the waves, that you may seek of the bounty of Allah, and that you may be grateful. Surah An-Nahl, Ayat 14.
صدق الله العظيم.
Distinguished guests, Bangladesh's sustainable ocean economy is vital for environmental resilience, economic diversification, and inclusive growth. With a marine area nearly 80% of its landmass, the country holds immense untapped potential in ocean industries. Today's seminar aims to foster dialogue and partnerships to advance sustainable marine development aligned with national priorities and global goals, ensuring a resilient and prosperous ocean future.
To support the government's Blue Economy agenda, Bangladesh Maritime University has organized this international seminar on Blue Economy, Unlocking the Potentials of Oceans for Sustainable Development of Bangladesh. Distinguished speakers internationally have gathered to exchange insights and foster innovative ideas aimed at advancing national prosperity. Before we start, I would like to request Commodore Atikur Rahman, Dean, Faculty of Shipping Administration, Bangladesh Maritime University, for the welcome address.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sir, the auditorium not yet full, but our heart is full to get all the stars of maritime domain from all over the world and the stars from our country. Thank you very much. Honorable Chief Guest of today's seminar, Admiral M. Nazmul Hassan, Chief of Naval Staff, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Bangladesh Maritime University, Rear Admiral Ashraful Haq Chaudhary, learned keynote speaker, Professor Dr. P.A. Fair, Director for Center for Blue Governance, University of Portsmouth, eminent academicians from home and abroad, marine professionals, maritime stakeholders, faculty members, dear students, and representatives from print and digital media, Assalamu alaikum, and a very good morning to you all. I, Commodore Atikur Rahman, on behalf of Bangladesh Maritime University, welcome you all in today's seminar on Blue Economy, Unlocking the Potentials of Ocean for Sustainable Development of Bangladesh. Dear audience, Bangladesh Maritime University, in short, BMU, being the only maritime university in the country, has been committed to offering a diverse array of graduate and postgraduate courses across various maritime disciplines. 7 marine and fisheries academies of Bangladesh are also affiliated with BMU for their academic degrees. With the short span of time, this university has forged robust partnerships with 18 international and 14 domestic universities and organizations. Thereby, BMU has already created a vibrant global network for the exchange of knowledge and ideas. August gathering. The geographical location of Bangladesh, situated at the apex of the Bay of Bengal, underscores the pressing need to maximize the utilization of ocean resources, not only for Bangladesh, rather to bolster the economic development of the region as a whole. The Honorable Chief Advisor of Bangladesh, Nobel Laureate Dr. Muhammad Yunus, has duly stated that the economic development of Bangladesh will be unstoppable if Bangladesh can utilize the opportunities lies with the Bay of Bengal and the ocean beyond. Today's seminar has been designed as incredible platform for scholars, policymakers, industry leaders, and stakeholders for insightful discussions and exchange valuable ideas on critical issues in the maritime domain. The plenary session will deepen our understanding and foster connections between international and national initiatives, while the technical sessions on ocean governance, blue economy, and ocean science will further refine the research findings of scholars from academia. In the technical session, 9 contemporary topics, purposefully selected by a panel of experts, will be presented in the seminar. Total 30 researchers submitted their papers responding to an open call. We also made open invitation for poster presentations where 64 student groups of various renowned universities from home and abroad had participated. Ladies and gentlemen, I am optimistic that the expertise of the esteemed speakers, coupled with the active engagement from the audience, will broaden our understanding on important maritime issues. This collaborative exchange will also foster networking opportunities among the stakeholders. Distinguished audience, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to today's esteemed chief guest, Admiral M. Nazmul Hassan, Chief of Naval Staff, for generously sparing his precious time. Sir, your presence undoubtedly serves as a great source of inspiration for our endeavors. I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the keynote speaker and distinguished research persons who have joined us from various countries. I would also like to express my appreciation for the wonderful presence of all session chairs, speakers, esteemed guests, and maritime experts, seminar sponsors, and media personnel. Your involvement has been truly meaningful, and your insights and commitment are essential as we work together towards a more sustainable exploration of maritime opportunities for the new Bangladesh that we all are dreaming for. I earnestly expect your wholehearted participation in the sequence of events of today's seminar. Thank you very much once again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable welcome address. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will enjoy a 5-minute, 10 seconds audiovisual on the theme of today's seminar.
permanent campus in Chattogram. We are dedicated to fostering research excellence, promoting innovation, and ensuring quality education.
Bangladesh Maritime University is flourishing its maritime education and research.
With state-of-the-art research labs and expert faculty.
The curriculum of this university was designed to give us both theoretical and practical skills.
We're being adequately prepared to address the challenges of Industry 4.0 through strong industry and academia.
And a pathway to a brighter future. Unlocking the blue economy will enable Bangladesh to chart a course for sustainable growth and prosperity. Together, let's protect our oceans, embrace sustainability, and harness the full potential of our blue economy.
Dear audience, the keynote paper of this inaugural session will be presented by Professor Dr. Pierre Fair, UNESCO Chair in Ocean Governance and Director, Center for Blue Governance, University of Portsmouth. Dr. Pierre Fair is a professor of economics at the University of Portsmouth and Director of the Center for Blue Governance. His expertise lies in the development and environmental economics, with a focus on sustainable marine resource use under the Blue Economy framework. He has led multidisciplinary projects across Europe, Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean. Dr. Fair has authored over 350 publications and serves as a scientific evaluator for global research councils. Now, I humbly request Professor Dr. Pierre Fair to present his keynote paper.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think everything has been said in the movie, so I will try to say something else. Okay, so the presentation initially was supposed to give you an overview of the blue economy status in the countries around the world. And I had a special request to give some content on Bangladesh. So the presentation is in two parts. The first one is on a review of the blue economy. What is the blue economy? How far it has been implemented in different countries? And this is some work that we have done for the OECD. You will see the work, I think, in June during the UNOC conference in Nice, south of France. And it has been done with my colleague, Rafaela Leguevo. So we can start. So the blue economy, it's just, I think this is mainly for the students, not for my old friends here who knows everything on this. So the blue economy has really started with these small island countries. And the first official document, UN document on this had been released for the summer conference in 2014. And it's a document that I have done with one of my colleagues Iris Monroe, who is now working for FAO. So we have done that for the preparation of the Samoa conference. And interestingly, at the same time, Real Amiral Khurshid Alam was organizing in 2014 in Bangladesh the first Blue Economy Conference. So you see, that what is interesting here is that the Blue Economy is coming really from small island countries, but also from other countries in the southern hemisphere. So that's something important to have in mind. Of course, after, from 2014 to now, you have a lot of, we can say, declinations or words in the blue economy. I just saw the lightest one, which is the blue economy diplomacy from the advisor, from Yunus, from the advisor of the government. So that's a new word, but you have a lot of words here from the blue carbon. And for instance, we have a blue carbon international workshop next month in the Ocean University of China in Qingdao. And you will see there is a lot of things. Blue bond is in the air at the moment, so everybody is talking about blue bonds. I have 2 PhD students at the moment working on this. So you have a lot of things going on. What is also important, and I think not enough reflected in the movie, is that everything is linked. It's like a dot-to-dot things. And I was talking this morning to the doorman in the hotel, and what he said, we were talking about Trump, Trump's resolutions on the tariff. He said everything is linked. If you affect the garment industry, you will affect the rest of the economy in Bangladesh and also the people in Bangladesh. So, and the blue economy is exactly the same. Is that everything is linked together. So you cannot work on the fishery, you cannot work on the aquaculture without expecting having some, what we call in economics, externalities, side effects we can call. Okay, so when we develop, when we have a frame in mind, we need to integrate this, and we will see later how to integrate this externality or side effect in order that we have some, we can say, some mutual benefits from one sector to another one. The two figures here are issued from one very, I think it's, if you have to read something in the blue economy, is this is the document to read. It has been made by UNECA, and it's a policy guidebook. It's very interesting because it provides the frame for the development of the blue economy. So that's important. What you need to have in mind is that it's not only at the country level, but is from the country to the local, and also from the country to the international. That's the first things. And also, you need to integrate quite a lot of concepts. One of the key concepts that we are using, for instance, is the circular economy. So the circular economy is a key concept here, same that with the governance, effective governance, because it makes you thinking about how to develop without having any harmful impact. So that's very important, especially in Bangladesh. We saw that in the movie, where Bangladesh really want to continue to grow towards a continuous economic growth. So that's important. So that's the things I will not do too much. When we started to work here in Bangladesh in 2016 with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the vision of the blue economy was very simple. It was about developing the fisheries, developing the aquaculture, developing the port, the transportation, social tourism, etc. One sector after another one, or every sector in the same time, but it was really a pillar-oriented policy. And that was promoted by the World Bank as well. And the work here have been consisted to try to make linkages. And we started with, I think it was the 24, I'm always confused if it's 24 or 26 sectors that Real Amiral Khurshid Alam has developed in his book. I think you will see a picture of his book, and I really recommended this book. I still haven't finished it, but because it's too thick. But I recommend to all the students to read the book. Is absolutely amazing about the information and the quality of the analysis. So we have been trying to promote some changes from the World Bank approach, from the sectorial approach. So we started in Bangladesh in 2016. So there's a few documents that have been published, and we have continued that with, for instance, Bahamas. And Bahamas is a very good example of a shift from a very sectorial policy approach to something that is much more integrated. Why? For a very simple reason. So I tell you the story. I started to work in the Bahamas, in 2019. And suddenly in September 2019, a big hurricane washed away 2 islands in the north of Nassau, Great Abaco and Grand Bahama. So they were completely destroyed. Okay? So before that, the Ministry of Finance wanted only 2 things. He wanted to develop the blue finance, and he wanted to develop the cruise tourism. It was only this. Following that, things changed completely. So I said to myself, why the Minister of Finance is changing his mind so quickly? Well, if he didn't change his mind, on his own. He changed his mind because the insurance company told the Bahamas that if they continue the policy by continue to have mangrove degraded and coral reef degraded, they will stop to insure the country. Okay? So they need to invest in the resilience of the coastal ecosystem. So you see that now it's not only a question of national policy, that's why I was referring to the international level, it's also a question of national to international through the insurance company. So that's something to have in mind. So there's a few others we have done, I think about 14 of 16 different blue economy strategy and policy around the world. Here you can see 2 years ago, or last year, we have done the one for the ASEAN countries. The SADC country, we have recently finished the one for the East African countries. I start to do the one for Panama, Antigua, and tomorrow on Wednesday, I'm going to Ivory Coast for a Blue Finance roundtable because we are doing the one for the Ivory Coast. And what is we can say the common language of all of this strategy is that we have put the environment first. That's something important, okay? So you cannot continue to have a 10% growth if you don't take care of your environment. So that's the work, just a few slides on the work we have done for the OECD. It's a big work that you will see in June. So we look at, I think it's 74 countries, about where they were in their blue economy development process. And what is interesting is that more or less everybody is from the step 1 to the step 5. We almost have no countries in the step 6, 7. We don't have step 8, but so that's a curiosity, okay? What we explain you, the way we explain that is that for many countries, the blue economy has been, we can say, pushed or pulled by external organizations. Okay? In the way that in the 54 countries in Africa, I think I can show you that. In the 54 countries of Africa, there is only one country, and you can guess which one it is. It is South Africa that has developed the blue economy on its own. All the other countries that are developing their blue economy strategy have been asked or have been pushed by external, we can say, assistance or cooperations to do it. Which means that a critical question is about the ownership. How can you get the ownership of your blue economy policy, strategy, and instruments? It is not coming from yourself. So that's a critical thing. So I just go back to this. So that's the ranking at the moment of where the countries are. And you see that there's a lot of countries in terms of implementation, planning, strategy, action plans, but the policy, there's not so many. I think we should add the South Africa on this. So that's for the African. What is important as well in the Africa is that first we have done the one for the African Union, 2018, 2019. We have done there are many strategies that have been developed at the regional level, and also now a lot of strategies and policy at the national level. And there is a lot of, we can say, consistency, coherence of all. What is also interesting, this is a paper that we have done, a review of the 54 countries, is that a very few countries have developed some coordination units. Most of them are working on the MSP. The blue accounting is almost nowhere, except in the countries where we have been able to implement the toolkit. I will show you one or two slides later. The toolkit to assess the blue economy from the economic, social, and environmental point of view. And the blue financing as well, except I think Cabo Verde, there's a few other countries like Seychelles and Mozambique that have developed that. Okay? And that's for the Asia. So we see that Bangladesh is at the stage, and this is something that we have developed with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, with Real Amiral Khurshid Alam. We are at the action plan, and that's available in Bengali. Okay. The seeds, and this is interesting because you can see that the seeds are a bit more in advance, okay? And so in a way they have been able to continue from, you know, the Samoa push, and they have been able to develop their blue economy policies. So Bangladesh. So we have made, and you will see in the report, we have made, I think it was 8 case studies. One is on Bangladesh, looking at Bangladesh from the policy from different angles. And we found out that compared to the other policies or action plans, Bangladesh was quite advanced. So that's a very good thing. But still, and here you can see, you know, the two pictures of photo. You know, this is I never remember if it's Dhaka or Chittagong, but this is, you know, the traffic jam. And on the top, you have the EU image about what is the marine spatial planning. So the marine spatial planning is really about not having negative externalities. If the Chittagong or the Dhaka, you know, traffic jam, this is exactly what's ended up with a lack of planning. And it's very costly. Okay? I don't know how many millions of Dhaka, you know, you are losing every day because of the traffic jam, but it's quite high. So planning is important, not only, you know, on the long term, and that's why you have the action plan, but also from the geographical perspective. For very simple reasons, okay, is that it tends to avoid the negative externalities. So you can plan the things. And also that's a very good mechanisms for making the investors comfortable about investing in one place, because they know that this place is secure for the future. You know that if you are building a big Hilton on the beach, you will not have an aquaculture farm just in front of you, or oil and drill company drilling just in front of your beach. So that's something important. The other thing is really about the coordination. And we have done quite a lot of work here with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the other ministries, the blue cells, try to develop the coordination, also the coordination among the technical and financial partners. That's important, and very, very few countries, you saw from the slide from the African situation, very few countries have been able to implement it. The other thing is really to put, and I said that earlier on, is really to put the ecosystems at the heart of the development. Good ecosystem, and I think we have one slide or two on this, you will see, are very important for that, and also the blue financial mechanisms. Many countries are developing their own schemes on this. Okay, we have been we have developed a large project on this in the Caribbean for many countries. And the African Union now is working with the African Development Bank for the blue financing, for developing specific blue financing scheme. And I'm working in Morocco and going next week in Morocco for the presentation of the blue financing scheme for the aquaculture in Morocco with the World Bank. So for Bangladesh, there are three main areas where we can do things at the moment. The first one is the area that needs some immediate attention. After we have the area that needs some research, and the third one is really about the framework, the governance framework. That's something that we have developed for I think it was for the Bahamas and for the Southern African countries, for the SADC countries. When we are addressing these challenges, okay, we need to see them as opportunities. That's the first thing that we need to have in mind. Okay? Otherwise, we will just think about addressing the challenges or the issues from a pure regulatory perspective. So we will just try to avoid that. It will cost a lot for the enforcement, while we try to see, we can try to see that differently by addressing this issue by making them as opportunity. When saying that, you need to have in mind that some opportunities are on the long term. We can see, oil and gas, deep sea mining. Some other ones are very short term and very economic, we can say. So that's why I was saying that the environment is important. This is a study that we have done around Africa on the large marine ecosystem. It will be interesting to do that here in the Bay of Bengal. We show that about almost all the mangrove seagrasses are degraded up to 50% of their good conditions. Okay? So it's very bad. Okay? As reef, I think if I remember, is about 67, and scalp that you find in the southern part of Africa is a bit better. So when you translate this into monetary value, it's a big loss. But when you translate this, and you can find this report from the African Development Bank, when you translate this into fish, okay? So fish means something for everybody. It means that if you restore the degraded ecosystem, mainly the mangrove and the seagrasses, you will increase the fish production by about 10 million tons. And 10 million tons is about what is caught today in the African waters. So you see the direct translation between the restoration and the conservation and the economic value. So based on this work, the African Development Bank is now investing into the restoration. Same with the World Bank. We have developed a JEF project in the Gulf of Guinea, linking the fisheries and the conservation through a payment for ecosystem. So that's for Bangladesh. So up. So trash fish. So it took us a lot of time to work on the trash fish from 2016 to 2019, if I remember, okay, for having the ban of the trash fish. It has been a big issue, but surprisingly, the people were not seeing, even in the Ministry of Fishery, were not seeing the problem, okay, because for them it was a way for the poor people to survive. Yes, but at the same time, when you have ILSA in trash fish, and we were able to identify some, baby ILSA is about, we made some estimates, it's about 100 million loss for Bangladesh in export. Okay? So it's better to let them grow. You have about 100 million more. Of course, you need to find measures for the people who are losing access to the fisheries. The other thing is really about the value chain improvement. When we had the tour, we organized a tour, I think it was in 2018 in France. We've been to the fish auctions in south of Brittany. And the Bangladeshi, I remember Bangladeshi people were shocked. Why? Because there was only one fish on the cage. Okay? Only one fish. They said, why there's only one fish? Here in Bangladesh, we'll put maybe 100. And the director of the ocean said, well, if I put 2 fishes, the price of the 2 fishes will be less than the price of this fish. Okay? So the quality is the key word. Okay? So you can sell, and here, I think it's in Chittagong. So you see that there's a lot of things to do, especially for the fish valuation. Also, the protections of the coast. A lot of things are going on in Saint Martin Islands. This is a very good thing, like, for instance, reducing the number of visitors, daily visitors. That's a very good thing. The monitoring, of course, you need boats, you need good means, to do research. But you can do with very simple things. And I suggested here to use, the frozen indicators, okay, to look at the health of a fisheries. That's quite simple. Same with the ship dismantling. A lot shipbreaking. A lot has been done, so things are getting better. That's from Crochet d'Alam. His love is Artemia. So that's important. But there's a lot to do. And other countries are going very, very fast on this, especially in East Africa. So in terms of challenges, so there's a need for, we can see, for mariculture species. Okay, it's still in infant stage in Bangladesh, but it will go quite fast. But as long as we have in mind that we need to address the pollution. Pollution is one of the key issues. And I tell you a very short story. People are moving from the Mediterranean Sea for the aquaculture. They are moving to the Atlantic at the moment. With big investment, it's about 100, 200 million investment. For instance, for the tuna, the bluefin tuna. Why? For 4 reasons. The first one is that the temperature, the sea temperature in the Mediterranean is too high for 4 months over the years, maybe the summer months. So when it's too high, the tuna, the bluefin tuna, it doesn't eat. So it's a big loss. So you are giving food, but it doesn't eat. The second one is that when they reach 8 months, the bluefin tuna are making confusion between the microplastics and the food. And so again, they stop growing. And after, you have a lack of oxygen. And this is also a problem that occurs in the Bay of Bengal. So that's, and the last one is the pollution coming from the human activity, especially during summer times, where you have a lot of tourists. So all together, these 4 things together makes the aquaculture now moving from the Mediterranean Sea to the Atlantic. And where they are going, at the moment, they are going to Morocco. So Morocco is benefiting a lot for this. Okay? So we need to have this in mind, but that's a good way as well to walk from the land to the sea, in the way that pollution is coming from the land here. So it's a good way to address the pollution and try to mitigate the pollution. Yeah, sustainable, that's something, I think Kulna has developed that. There was a project with the Dutch people on regenerative aquaculture, shrimps, how the shrimps aquaculture can regenerate the mangroves. So that was interesting. Many experience, and I think BFRI is quite good on this, but it needs to work with the private sector. That's something, I think it's something important to promote, is the private partner, a private-public partnership. That's my friend, we call him Mr. Tilapia. He's the one who introduced the tilapia here in Bangladesh, Ghulam Hussain. To do that, especially for the mariculture, partnerships is the key word. You can try to do a lot of things here, but if you don't have with partnerships, and I think we have some Chinese guests, they are the best for that, because they will not, how can I say that? I will try to be very polite. Okay? They will not bother with all the different dimensions of the research. They will go straight from the most advanced. Okay? And they will start from there. In France, we will do exactly the opposite. We'll try to go back to the history, try to find how it has been developed, etc., etc. No. Okay? So they are very, very good for that. So partnership is the key things. China is a very good partner, but there's also many other partners that you can have, Indonesia, Malaysia, etc. Seaweed. So we were in a conference in Sylhet early this week. Things are going fast, but at the same time, we are still more or less at the identification level, okay, here in Bangladesh. While in many other countries, and I think Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, they are very advanced. In Africa, you have Zanzibar and Madagascar, also very advanced. Seaweed is the faster growing sector in the food. You take all the food sector together, the one that is the faster growing is seaweed, more than 10% over the last 10 years. And it will continue to grow. Okay? Not only for food, but for medical purposes, pharmaceutical purposes, plastic. Okay? Seaweed very soon will replace the plastic. So there's a lot of things. So this is an example, for instance. Okay? So there's a lot of examples. Okay, so just for the coordination, we need to know what we have. That's the first thing. What we have is about mapping. I think the University of Chittagong and Sylhet University have developed a very good set of maps. This is quite old. They have a very good set of maps. What they have been presented during early this week also is that we have, in many areas, the superpositions of, we can say, surfaces dedicated for some of them to the shipping, some of them for the port, and we have port and MPA at the same time. So that's a lot of issues that need to be sorted out. So why is it a priority? So this is what I was mentioning, is that it's really a way, to project Bangladesh in the future and to make sure that there will have no conflicts, no externalities, or to reduce the externalities as much as possible. So for that, you need data. I think we were talking about the data issue. Okay? But so you need the data, but first you need the organization, how you organize yourself. And here, for instance, that the Ministry of Fisheries has developed its own MSP. Yes, that's good, but it's not an MSP. It's a fishery special planning something. Okay? So you need to have one dedicated organization setting up this, organizing this. And the other thing is that you need to start small. Don't start too big, because it will take 10 years to collect the data you need. So start small, do a first iteration, second iteration, and you can increase after the complexity and the size of your MSP. The integrated coastal zone management is another tool that needs to be promoted, especially here with the erosions, with the flooded, and with all the impacts of the climate change. So that's good because it matches also, the plan 2100. So that's good things. Yes, for the and I was talking to the people from the Bay of Bengal Commission. So they are quite keen to develop an MSP at the regional level. So the regional level is also important because if Bangladesh does some very good things on one side, Myanmar and India does not so very good things, that's an issue. Okay, so you need to look at this at the perspective of the Bay of Bengal. Capacity, so that's the oceanographic research. So a lot of good things, and this is surprising. I mean, and we are making a paper of this. Is that in Bangladesh, and Bangladesh is the country that is publishing the most in blue economy in the world. So That's very important. I mean, I'm not talking about fishery in blue economy or aquaculture. No, blue economy in general is Bangladesh, the top publisher in the world. So that's very important, but it means that we have the capacities are here already. What is missing is really the coordination between the different universities in order to make it bigger, to provide better results. And I think the initiative that we had in the beginning of the week in Sylhet, and this one is something that will promote the exchanges and the collaboration. That's one example, but now it failed. I will not explain you why, but the sales is, or the blue, or the coordination unit, is something that needs to be set up at a very high level. The other thing is that, and I was mentioning that for the aquaculture, but for the seaweed, for instance, the collaboration with the biotechnological institutions in France, for instance, here, what I call the Campus Mondial de la Mer, the World Sea Campus, you have about 30,000 people working, 7,000 enterprises. Most of them are working in biotechnology. So you see that there's the capacity already exists. What needs to be done is linkages. And when we organized the 2 European tour in 2018, we visited the people and they are very keen to collaborate. The other thing is that, and that's from the slide from the World Bank with the silo approach, that there are more and more research projects working on the integrations of things that seems to be completely incompatible. Okay, development of the aquaculture with some offshore port, a deep sea port. I give you an example, is the port of Vigo. The port of Vigo was really facing pollution issues about 10 years ago. They developed their own blue economy policy at the internal level. Now, and I really encourage you to go to Vigo, you will see that you have some big basin, like an aquarium it's full of fish. And kids are coming, so it's accessible. So they made a big change in the port just by thinking differently and opening the port to the public. That's things. So I will finish with one thing, is that you can do a lot, but how can you show that you have done a lot? To do that, you need to be able to register the progress. And to register the progress, you need to have some tools. And we have developed with the UN Commission for Economic Commission for Africa, a tool specifically for measuring the progress of the blue economy in one specific country, and also to do the baseline study. When we have done the baseline study here with the World Bank in 2016, my colleague Gulay Hussein spent 2 weeks working in the statistical office. 2 weeks, he was there sitting for the collection of data. Okay, it means that if I ask you today, I saw on the movie, some values, but it's a very global value. Okay? If you need to assess the progress, you need to have some tools that register progress year by year, or even better, a semester or trimester by trimester. So that's, for instance, one of the example of the dashboard that the toolkit produced. Is very precise, and is very easy to use. And the UN Commission can provide some workshops for the use of the tools. And what I can say, so there's still a lot to do. And again, so I encourage you to have a look on the book from Ruyal Amirial Cruchet-Dallam. And just to conclude, so it means that everywhere, but also here, there's a need for establish a real blue governance scheme. That's the main point. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your invaluable insights through such an outstanding keynote paper. Your words have truly enriched this gathering and provided us with much to reflect upon.
Dear audience, it is indeed a great privilege to have with us the Honorable Chief of Naval Staff, Bangladesh Navy, Admiral M. Nazmul Hasan. May I now humbly request our distinguished chief guest, Admiral M. Nazmul Hasan, to deliver his valuable speech. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief of Naval Staff.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected Vice Chancellor, Bangladesh Maritime University, learned keynote speaker, Dr. Pierre Baylor, former Vice Chancellors of the university, esteemed scholars from home and abroad, faculty members, maritime professionals, dear colleagues from the print and digital media, and my dear students, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. It is an honor and privilege for me to stand before you today at this prestigious international seminar organized by the Maritime University on the theme, Blue Economy, Unlocking the Potentials of Oceans for Sustainable Development of Bangladesh. At the outset, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to the Vice Chancellor of the university for organizing this important seminar, which brings together the experts, the academia, the industry leaders, and the policymakers from home and abroad. It's heartening to see the participation from the foreign scholars. I hope through their knowledge sharing, we all shall be better educated and have some roadmap for the blue economy potentials unlocking for Bangladesh in the days ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, let me first pay my deepest tribute to the martyrs of Liberation War of Bangladesh who sacrificed their lives for independence and the sovereignty of the nation. I also pay my humble tribute to the martyrs of July-August movement led by the students who fought for justice, representing the enduring spirit of Bangladesh's struggle for freedom, democracy, and equality. The movement has reinforced our collective commitment to a future rooted in prosperity and self-reliance, complemented by a society free from corruption and discrimination. Distinguished audience, Bangladesh has a maritime area of over 118,000 square kilometers. With our strategic maritime interests and abundant maritime resources, Bangladesh has a unique relationship with the sea. Therefore, the concept of blue economy is crucial for us as we strive to unlock the vast, untapped potentials of Bay of Bengal for sustainable development of the country. The term blue economy encompasses a variety of sectors like fisheries, shipping, offshore energy, marine tourism, biotechnology, and so on. All these sectors can not only drive economic growth, but also can contribute to the conservation of our marine ecosystem. It is essential that we view the ocean as a common heritage, one that must be protected, valued, and used in a manner that benefits all sectors of the society. The importance of blue economy to Bangladesh cannot be overstated. With a coastline that stretches over 700 kilometers, rich fisheries, shipping industries, and the potential for offshore energy production, we are poised to benefit tremendously from a well-managed blue economy. The concept of the blue economy, you must be aware, was first brought to light in Bangladesh by none other than Rear Admiral Khurshid, who is sitting at the front. And he pioneered the introduction of Blue Economy Cell under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Later, of course, this cell was transferred to the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, and last year, this has been placed under the Cabinet Division. Only this morning, I was informed by our loan representative in the Blue Economic Cell under the Cabinet Division that the organogram, that is the manpower and the accessories, has been passed through from the Ministry of Public Administration, and hopefully very soon it will be through from the Ministry of Finance. And thereafter, this will have a formal and permanent manpower under its aegis, and hopefully this will be able to contribute to unlocking the potentials that we are discussing today. To unlock the true potentials of the blue economy, we must take a holistic approach, one that is not only driven by economic opportunities, but also based on sustainability. Here the keyword sustainability is very important because we want our resources to last for a very, very long time so that the future generation can also benefit from it. It's not only a short-term benefit for us. Education, research, and innovation will play a pivotal role in this endeavor. And that's why a seminar like this and similar other efforts are very, very important. Effective ocean governance, and as the keynote speaker said, the blue governance is important. Robust maritime policies and the adoption of marine spatial planning are essential for ensuring sustainable utilization of our maritime resources. Strengthening regulatory frameworks and governance mechanism will allow us to manage oceanic resources efficiently while ensuring their long-term sustainability. Furthermore, investments in offshore renewable energy, green maritime transport, and digitalization in shipbuilding will open new frontiers for economic growth while safeguarding our marine environment. Learned audience, with the increasing threats of climate change and marine pollution, our nation must prioritize marine conservation and biodiversity protection as fundamental pillars of development. Our marine fisheries sector, which provides the livelihood of millions, must be protected through sustainable fishing practices and the conservation of marine biodiversity, ensuring ecological balance and long-term economic benefits. By embracing public-private partnerships and blue financing mechanism, we can strengthen our ocean economy while ensuring sustainability for future generations. Esteemed guests, Bangladesh has made remarkable strides in development, demonstrating resilience in the face of challenges. The July-August movement is one such example. As we navigate this new chapter of governance, our focus must remain steadfast on long-term economic sustainability. The integration of scientific research, technological innovation, and policy-driven approaches will enable us to harness the true potential of our maritime resources. Ocean science and engineering will play a crucial role in this endeavor, allowing us to explore deep-sea resources, develop cutting-edge maritime technologies, and implement innovative solutions for coastal resilience and sustainability. The introduction of smart ports, advanced maritime logistics, and autonomous underwater technologies will further enhance our capabilities in the maritime sector. Ladies and gentlemen, as a key organization entrusted with safeguarding our maritime boundaries, Bangladesh Navy ensures the security of our waters and safeguards the nation's maritime interests. Navy plays an integral part in the responsible and sustainable management of ocean resources. Our primary mission is, of course, safeguarding the country's sovereignty. However, it also extends to protecting our vital maritime industries, ensuring safe and efficient shipping lanes, and assisting in the protection of our coastal ecosystems. The Navy will continue to play a vital role in ensuring the safety, security, and sustainability of our maritime resources as we work together with other maritime stakeholders to secure a brighter future for our next generation. In this regard, I would like to inform you very gladly that we are making an endeavor to acquire a oceanographic research vessel. I've already talked to the chief advisor and the finance advisor, who is also the advisor for the Ministry of Science and Technology. They are very positive about it, and we have already started the process. Let me assure you that this oceanographic research vessel will not only serve the hydrographic research purposes for the Navy, but it will also be used by the institutions like the BORI, the Bangladesh Oceanographic Research Institute, for scientific research, and also be open for use by the students of Bangladesh Maritime University, as well as the other universities. And I believe with the positive intent of the government, within this year, we'll be able to acquire this research vessel for our country, inshallah. What is important for us is we have, from the Navy, a firm commitment to lead the maritime front. And as you know, a lot of the maritime organizations are led by the serving naval officers, and also the retired naval officers, shoulder to shoulder with the other mariners, are working together in various sectors, including in the maritime industry. I can see a couple of shipbuilders sitting right in front of me. And this is not only the one sector where we are contributing, but we are trying to contribute in many other sectors of maritime importance. And we believe if we work together, both the people in uniform and people in civil attire, we can take the concept of this blue economy, and through its proper implementation, we can also make sustainable and remarkable contribution to our national economy. Dear audience, once again, I want to commend Bangladesh Maritime University for facilitating today's dialogue. This not only creates an opportunity to learn from experts, but also reminds us to do our part in unlocking the full potentials of our oceans while ensuring their sustainability. The university's continuous efforts in making future maritime professionals are admirable. The discussions, insights, and recommendations from today's seminar will undoubtedly help to shape the future of Bangladesh's blue economy and contribute to our nation's sustainable development. Before I conclude, I extend my sincere gratitude to all the distinguished scholars for attending and sharing their knowledge and expertise. I also thank the organizers who have worked tirelessly to make this seminar a success. My special thanks to the keynote speaker. I understand he is a very busy man, and as the Vice Chancellor was informing me, getting his schedule is a tough call. But thank you very much, sir, for traveling all the way to Bangladesh and for enlightening us with your deliberate presentation. And as you have mentioned, you have been involved in the process for last more than 10 years, and you have worked together with Admiral Khurshid sitting in front of us. And thank you for your contribution for last 1 decade plus for Bangladesh. And we hope that not only you, but all the intellectuals, the professionals, and the academia sitting right in front of us on the left of the audience will definitely remain by our side and contribute to our humble efforts in getting the best out of the blue economy potentials of Bangladesh. So at the end, let us pray and hope that these kind of efforts taken by the Maritime University succeeds in unlocking the potentials of blue economy, and let us all work together with a shared sense of purpose to harness the full potentials of our oceans for the sustainable development of Bangladesh and contribute to the global agenda for a healthy and striving planet. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Allah Hafiz.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Honorable Chief of Naval Staff, Bangladesh Navy, Admiral M. Nazmul Hasan. Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your excellent speech. Your words will always serve as an inspiration for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor of Bangladesh Maritime University, Rear Admiral Ashraful Haq Chaudhary, for his session concluding remarks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today's respected chief guest, Chief of Naval Staff, Bangladesh Navy, Admiral M. Nazmul Hasan, learned keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Pierre Feiler, Director of the Center for Blue Governance and also the UNESCO Chair in Ocean Governance, esteemed scholars from home and abroad, faculty members, professionals, my dear students, journalists from print and digital media, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. On behalf of all members of Bangladesh Maritime University, I would like to welcome you all to the inaugural session of this international seminar on blue economy, unlocking the potential of oceans for sustainable development of Bangladesh. Today, we are privileged to have the Chief of Naval Staff, Bangladesh Navy, Admiral M. Nazmul Hasan, as chief guest at this inaugural session. I profoundly acknowledge his constant guidance and unwavering support for the development of our university. Thank you, sir. Moreover, we are truly honored to have such distinguished group of speakers, including Professor Dr. Pierre Feiler. As you know, it was very difficult to get his schedule. He's a very busy person, and luckily he could make it as the keynote speaker for this session. We are also privileged to have amongst us the maritime experts, academia, and professionals from various fields as participants of this seminar. I firmly believe their participation presents incredible opportunity to learn, share ideas, and exchange knowledge on today's seminar theme. Dear audience, as you know, Bangladesh's maritime heritage is a vibrant tapestry woven through centuries of seafaring, trade, and cultural exchange. Historically, the ancient seaports of Bengal served as regional hub, connecting it to the far flanks of the world. Thus, from ancient trade glory to contemporary economic strides, ocean continues to shape its identity and future for Bangladesh. And therefore, the concept of blue economy is not new to us. Rather, it is a continuation of our long-standing relationship with the ocean that have sustained our people for centuries. In that context, Bangladesh's pursuit for blue economy represents a vision to harness its vast maritime resources, sustainability, balancing economic growth with ecological preservation. This has been significantly highlighted by our Honorable Chief Advisor, Professor Muhammad Yunus, recently in a forum where he said, Bangladesh is fortunate to have access to the sea, and we must take strategic advantage of it for country's economic growth through sea trade and commerce. Moreover, the country holds immense potentials in areas like marine fisheries, hydrocarbons, shipping, renewable energy, maritime tourism, etc. Especially for a country like Bangladesh, with its thriving economy, ocean offers us the opportunity to diversify our economy by creating new jobs and ensures the sustainable use of our marine and coastal ecosystem. Thus, Bangladesh's blue economy strategy seeks to unlock the potentials of ocean for its economic prosperity and sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, while Bangladesh has made significant progress we are also aware of challenges that come with tapping into the potential of blue economy. Sea level rise due to climate change, overfishing, marine pollution, and the loss of biodiversity pose significant threats to our coastal and marine ecosystem. Therefore, we must remain committed to policies and practices that prioritize environmental sustainability and the well-being of coastal communities. August gathering. Today's seminar brings together experts, researchers, policymakers, and practitioners from across the globe. It provides an invaluable platform to share ideas, explore innovative solutions, and forge partnerships that will shape the future of our blue economy. I'm confident that today's discussion will yield actionable insights and help chart a course towards sustainable utilization of our ocean resources. Most importantly, it will provide an invaluable learning opportunity for our students, offering insights that extend beyond the confines of traditional classroom teaching. Distinguished guests, now a few words about the Bangladesh Maritime University. Bangladesh Maritime University was established with an aim to fostering a marine-oriented mindset and developing human resources for effective maritime sector management. Being the only maritime university in the nation, we have a strong commitment to providing world-class maritime education, leveraging cutting-edge technological support to address emerging challenges both domestically and internationally. The university covers a wide range of maritime education through its different faculties and departments, offering specialized programs in various sectors, including oceanography, marine fisheries, marine biotech, port and shipping management, naval architecture, maritime tourism, etc. Besides, there are a good number of maritime institutions which are affiliated under this university, like government marine academies, private marine academies, marine fisheries academy, etc. Moreover, our university proudly collaborates with good number of esteemed international and domestic universities, maritime institutions, fostering a global network of knowledge exchange. We are excited to announce that the construction of our permanent campus in Chattogram is progressing rapidly, and inshallah, the transition of our permanent campus by 2026 will significantly enhance the capacity of our university, thus enabling us to accommodate a growing number of students and faculty members effectively. Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, I would like to extend a special thanks to our speakers and panelists who have taken time out of their busy schedules to be here with us today. Your expertise and insights will undoubtedly make this seminar resourceful and meaningful. I also encourage all participants to actively engage during the sessions, ask questions, and network with fellow participants. It's through cooperation and dialogue that we can move forward and derive a significant policy outcome from this seminar. Before I conclude, especially I express my deepest gratitude to the respected Chief of Naval Staff for gracing the seminar as chief guest despite his busy schedule. Sir, your presence is always a source of inspiration to us. I also extend my sincere thanks to our keynote speaker for his invaluable contribution to this session. Additionally, I want to acknowledge the gracious presence of all distinguished guests and maritime scholars whose participation has made this event truly meaningful. We look forward to an insightful and inspiring sessions ahead. May Allah bless us all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you very much, sir, for taking the time to share your invaluable insights with us. Your words have truly enriched the gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would humbly request our chief guest keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Pierre Fair, and other dignitaries to receive seminar crests from our Vice Chancellor, Rear Admiral Ashraful Haq Chaudhary. At first, Honorable Vice Chancellor will hand over a crest to the keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Pierre Fair. Thank you, sir. Now, Honorable Vice Chancellor will hand over a crest to the Chief Guest, Admiral M. Najmul Hassan, Chief of Naval Staff, Bangladesh Navy. A painting created by Ashikur Rahman Prince, a student from Department of Maritime Law and Policy, will graciously be presented to the Chief Guest, Admiral M. Najmul Hassan, Chief of Naval Staff, Bangladesh Navy, as a token of memento and a gesture of heartfelt appreciation. Dear audience, we will now proceed to the photography session. I would like to request the Treasurer, Registrar, Academic Advisor, all Deans, Controller of Examination, and all the speakers of the plenary session to come over to the stage and join the photography session. This marks the photography session of this seminar. The Honorable Treasurer, Registrar, Academic Advisor, all Deans, Controller of Examination, and all the speakers of the plenary session. Thank you very much, sir. This marks the conclusion of our inaugural session.
Now, I kindly request our chief guest and all designated guests to proceed to the lobby outside of the central auditorium for the display of the posters presentation ceremony. I would also request all distinguished guests to kindly remain seated until the departure of the chief guest.
I would like to request all distinguished guests kindly remain seated until the departure of the chief guest. All invited guests are requested to join the posted
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. You may proceed now for the light refreshments. Light refreshments have been arranged for all invited guests. All the invited guests, heads of departments, and above all, are humbly requested to proceed to the second floor of the Grand Convention Hall for light refreshments. And students, faculty,